Hello everyone. Today I'm going to walk you through the process on how to create an informational paragraph. I'm going to do this by actually having a paragraph that has been provided and breaking it down and analyzing it for you. That way you can go and create your own paragraph, which is expected later on in this lesson, and you will have the confidence and tools to do so. At the end of this video, I will provide you with a short little checklist on exactly what to walk away with and remember, and that way you can go and create it yourself. So here we go. So first things first, this paragraph is in fact connected to the article of which you just read, the idea of should people home own or is renting in fact a more beneficial way to provide shelter for us. So first and foremost, something important when you're writing a paragraph is to always identify and have a title. It just helps provide concise sort of direction for your reader. Then we get right into topic sentence. So right away, the very first sentence of any paragraph is going to identify the topic for your reader. In this case, it is the following. Many people dream about owning their own home, but renting might be a better option. So again, the main idea is identified in this topic. Then we go right into first supporting details. Renting represents mobility. Super important to know and to understand. Then it is important to continue to elaborate on that point, further emphasizing the example and the detail. For example, for those with wanderlust or those who plan to move for work, renting suits your nomadic adventure seeking lifestyle. What I want to draw your attention to at this point is that we are writing in complete sentences, and it is very important to know that. You want to provide as much detail, but making sure that everything is in fact cohesive and that our writing is always full, complete thoughts. With a home, when something breaks, you either have to fix it, you can't always anticipate the expense either. Anyone who's had water in her basement or raccoons ripping away roof shingles can attest to this headache. Again, it's those supporting details and elaboration that are super important here in paragraph writing, let alone informational paragraph writing, which actually readers rely on to get that information in a clear and concise manner. Something I want to draw your attention to is use of transitions. Transitions are super important. They help create a smoothness to your writing. It kind of takes your reader from one thought, one point to the next. So that's the difference between a choppy writing or choppy paragraph versus something that is more smooth and cohesive, is that transitional words are identified and super important. You can Google lists of transitional words. I mean, also is just one example of a transitional word. There are many, many others you can use. Also, firstly, secondly, lastly, therefore, thus. There are many examples that you can access in different areas. We're going to continue on. So from supporting details, use of transition, again, supporting detail number 3. 3 is always your magical number. You always want to have at least 3 examples or minimum supporting points in anything that you're writing, especially in informational paragraph writing. And it states here, you're also less likely to spend money on sprucing up or upgrading your rental unit. So again, you have that supporting point. There we go. And then we go right into supporting detail number 4 with some elaboration. Coming up with first and last month's rent is a lot easier than coming up with a down payment for a home. First-time home buyers have increased their budget to an average of $316,100, but 30% expect parents or family to help with the bill. 40% in Montreal or Vancouver, says BMO. Again, 3 is your magical number. If you have 4, that's fantastic, but just remember that 3 is your benchmark, okay, when you are in fact writing. We have clear statistics. So if you decide to bring in any information into your writing, making those statistics very, very clear and always identifying where that information is coming from. Again, we are going to notice the language. The writer is not trying to persuade you to rent instead of buy, but he or she is providing you with information you can use and then act on yourself. If the writer wanted to persuade you, he or she may have said renting rather than buying is the only option for Canadians. So It is actually pretty important to make note of that. When you're writing informationally, it is super important to understand you're not persuading here. That's actually a different style of writing altogether. You are providing a topic, you are presenting details, facts, and you are allowing the reader the opportunity to make their own conclusions at the end. And then, of course, we have our concluding sentence, which summarizes the main idea as a whole. So renting rather than buying is a sensible option for many Canadians. So those are kind of your big identifying key factors in informational paragraph writing. So the little checklist that I would like to provide you is you want to be concise at all time. Remember that your first sentence is your topic sentence. It needs to be clear. Readers need to understand and know what your paragraph is about. Remember, you only have a certain amount of space in paragraph writing, minimum 5 sentences to anywhere to 10 to 12. And you want to make sure that your supporting details are in there, minimum of 3. And of course, your transitions get you from that one point to the next. And of course, your conclusion. You want to conclude your paragraph with it being clear, and you want to re-summarize your initial first topic sentence. So it very much kind of closes the idea, very much like that hamburger analogy where you have your outside your two outside buns, so your topic sentence and your concluding sentence, and then all the supporting details and evidence right in the middle. And of course, your overall tone. You want this to be polished. You want this to be professional. So making sure that you're taking that time to edit. You're taking that time to make sure that you're writing in full sentences, full detail, and of course, always in complete sentences. We never start with because, we never start with anything like that because that's in fact in the middle of a thought, and that's how we get sentence fragments. We don't want any of that. So pay attention to what has been provided here on the left-hand side. This is a great checklist for you to in fact take that information and go ahead and write your own informational paragraph.